Hey Dari, this is part 4 of the Trachtenbergs putting me into Rikers Island for 6 years. But I only served 16 months. Again, the story is massively complicated. Epic, but every little minute fact is fascinating. And sadly, I will not be sharing almost any of that now. You'll have to wait for the movie starring Schwarzenegger and Stallone taking turns playing me, because that's how badass I am, and how macho. Sorry, dear diary. Again, I guess the basic story is, I finally found a way to escape New York City, the super Nazi Germany of the New World Order, and super police state under billionaire tyrant, criminal, super mass murderer Mike Bloomberg. A James Bond villain if there ever was one. Except no personality. And no wit. And no charm. And no brains. Wow, the story is enormous, but here's just a couple juicy facts. So, it is New Year's Eve 2011. All my friends have destroyed my life more than my enemies ever could. And because humans are terrible, you'll learn. And they all sold me out because everybody wants to be on the winning team, as John Lennon and Bob Dylan both complained before I was born. And these guys were successes, and they complained how everyone is just fucking fake and cheap. And fake and cheap. And they were right. I accidentally, at a New Year's Eve party, pick up this amazing Polish girl who sweeps me off my feet. And long story short, I'm living with her essentially in her nice suburban place in Long Island, and it's in heaven. It's the first time in my entire life I'm somewhere safe and happy, and not surrounded by retards. Isolated from the human race except for this amazing girl, doing our music, our art, everything. It was fucking heaven. But I was still trying to resolve the underlying cases which Hines was dragging out from 2009. This is 2011 now. The beginning of 2012. And DA Hines would not allow me any trial. I had no right to prove my innocence. They said, you're guilty of these 3 arrests versus Harry Stuckey, the pedophile, because you told people about his scams. You're not allowed to tell the public, to warn them about guys who rape girls and traffic child porn. You're not allowed to tell them about his connections to us. That's not free speech. And so they blocked my... Man, this story is too complicated to tell in this fashion. Funny point, though. So I'm now in my new dream life, away from all the assholes and douchebags and ass-kissers and morons in New York City, in the middle of nowhere, in heaven, safe, making art all day long. And trying to resolve these remaining bullshit cases and try to get my life savings back, stolen by Hines and Stuckey, blah, blah, blah. I finally get my hands on some of the documents that prove Hines' corruption. His own internal documents that prove he faked everything. I finally scan them, and I send them to the New York Times and Daily News and a few other reporters who know me and know that Hines is a dirtbag. Here's where I may have made a mistake or not, depending on your overall viewpoint. I CC'd the DAs, both Manhattan and Brooklyn. I wanted them to see what I was doing. I was exposing them to all the major media. And then I said to my girl, when she got home, I said, don't be surprised if they do a raid on your house. I said, they might send an army out here to come get me. I mean, that would be totally illegal, but I've just possibly ruined their careers and put them into jail. And this is just the start. There was thousands more documents to come. She thought I was exaggerating. Yeah, right. She said, I was just saying that because I wanted her to be like scared and care about me more. And then one morning at 7 a.m., they came in. This is why I disappeared for 2 years and didn't do anything. No diary entries, no nothing. I can't even tell you the whole story about the raid. Hilarious. Here's an example, I guess a funny joke. Needless to say, I was right. They sent 5 cars to get me. They chained me by the ankles, the arms, put me on the lawn on my knees like I was Osama bin Laden. It was magnificent. They tried to show it off to the entire neighborhood. They blocked off a whole street. It looked like they had caught Osama bin Laden. Now, the neighbors probably wouldn't have jumped to a conclusion correctly and thought that guy must be charged with misdemeanors for speech. This was a political hit job. They do this everywhere I go to make sure now I can't go back to the neighborhood, because if I do, they're like, the idea is we just ruined another life here. My girl lost her apartment, but when they stormed into the apartment, 7 a.m., because I knew it was petty, but I knew they were going to beat me up because they're law enforcement. That's what law enforcement does. They like to beat people up. It makes them feel stronger and bigger and more in control of their lives. I hid in the closet. They come up, they grab me out of the closet, they thrash the fuck out of me. I had injuries I've never felt before, weird new kinds of injuries, and a weird-ass, indescribable injury right next to my eye, which is, when you see my Rikers photo, a mug photo and stuff like that, and you see the injury in the photo, I'm like, thank you, and I got my lawyer to mention it on record in court, so they couldn't pretend. I made that up. But here's the funny part. When they dragged me out, I was screaming because I knew they were going to beat me up, and I knew they had been misled by the DA's office because Hines has never told the truth of his life. I said, guys, it's okay. I'm only wanted for misdemeanor speech. I'm only wanted for misdemeanor. As they're thrashing me to the floor and everything. And then one of them yells, yeah, if you're such a nice guy, why were you hiding in the closet? And I yelled out, without missing a beat, I yelled out, for the same reason Anne Frank was hiding in the attic. I am good. And then after about 5 minutes, we were all friends, and they realized I was a great guy, cracking jokes. One of the marshals was like looking at my bass. One of my basses was like, damn, you got some amazing bass. He had fucking 6-string bass guitar, 10-string guitar, fretless Rickenbacker bass. He was marveling. He says, you ever need a bassist, you call me up. And I'm like, obviously I'm the better bassist. And they even admitted to me, the marshals, that because I looked at them and I'm like, wait a minute, you're federal marshals? You don't have none of this is legal. And they said, yeah, it's not really legal, but it's a favor to our old friend at Hines' office. I mean, that's how insane every moment of every day of my life is. Here I have these fucking federal marshals committing serious crimes, admitting, yeah, it's not legal, because they have no reason to lie. They're untouchable. Law enforcement doesn't even really try to cover up most of their shit. Bush didn't try. Cheney didn't try. Why bother? What are you going to do? Are you guys going to riot until the world court tries Cheney and Bush for war crimes? No, you're going to do exactly what they did to Hitler. You're going to suck his dick. Prove me wrong. Anyhow, 2 minutes left. Let's see if we can... I don't think we're going to wrap it. We're just going to probably take one more here to do, because I want to give you a couple funny moments from the trials. Now, everything was crazy. Oh, so they disappeared me, and I knew I would lose her. And I did lose her in the worst ways imaginable. You cannot... Every inch of every story is shocking, and it chills me to even think about most of it. But let's skip all that. The Trachtenbergs had been trying for 2 years to have me arrested, to silence me. I'd be passing out flyers in front of their shows, all kinds of stuff showing some huge crimes they committed. I mean, we're talking about people died because of the Trachtenbergs' lies, and I can name the people. Their lives are over. You know what I mean? Unless I die or commit suicide, their lives and careers would be over. And they kept trying. The DA didn't want to arrest me. The DA already had his hands full and was like, man, we're already fucking sick of this brodeur. He doesn't give a shit if we throw him in jail. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He's making us look like a bunch of fucking assholes. Fucking, we wish we'd never met this asshole. But then, once I was in jail and they realized we can only hold him for so long, this shit is petty. We need something that looks real. And so they concocted a case with Rachel and the parents while I was in jail to create a case. And they rushed that case that probably, check it out, ask around, probably the fastest. I'm the victim of the speediest trial in American history and the least speedy trials in American history. It's extreme and it's outrageous. The Rachel Trachtenberg trial went to trial, a jury trial, within 3.5 months of the arrest. Ask around. I don't think you've ever seen a jury trial faster in American history. I'll put money on that. And we all agreed the longest delay in American history. A B misdemeanor trial that took 5 years to get to trial. A second B misdemeanor trial that took 5 years to get to trial. A third B misdemeanor trial that took 5 years to get to trial. I'm starting to detect a pattern here. Now, just the fact that they created the Rachel Trachtenberg case and immediately rushed that one to trial before the others is, of course, a huge federal crime. But every judge is a crook, and they can't be punished if they do break the law. If they flagrantly break the law and on the stand go, I just broke the law, we can't punish them. That's what the courts say. That's what all the DAs say. They have immunity. from prosecution, no matter how badly they break the law in the course of their duties. Outrageously illegal under the 14th Amendment. Oh shit, 17 seconds left. Let's stop. I do like to go on these tangents where I tell you about the legal system, because it's more important than what the Trachtenbergs specifically did to me. The legal system is completely dirty, top to bottom. Even when you think it works, it does not. It's all a lie. It's a fucking lie. Stop believing the left wing and